Hey, it's Brian Mudd, and this is my cheat sheet for Monday, July 25th. On Friday, I think the president took on the approach of ignorance being bliss. Or at least ignorance could be bliss if you don't pay attention to us, to talk radio. See, the president's taken on Sean Hannity and Rush Limbaugh by name before, but on Friday, in the midst of a presser that lasted the better half of a half hour, not once but twice, he said, the whole industry, you need to ignore talk radio. That's right, you need to distance yourself from talk radio. You know, if you do decide to listen to the president and try to put us out of business, which I think is what he would prefer to do here, since I guess opinions that don't agree with his aren't all that welcome anymore, at least check out the cheat sheet every day. That way we can at least find some way to get information to you and hopefully share ideas, since apparently the president doesn't want us to actually do that over the air anymore. Nevertheless, the cost of dinner. Well, this isn't good news. Perhaps this is part of the reason why the president's so frustrated. It's just costing more. Everything. Eating dinner. 5% more. That's how much more it's costing you over about the last 6 months. 4.8% to be exact. This actually gets into a bigger issue, and one that I've talked about quite a bit this year. You can't really pay attention to what the government numbers are inflation are, because they ignore energy and food cost. And as we know, we all eat, and we all use some form of energy. Therefore, the real number is closer to 5% so far. That means that if you just had money sitting in a bank account, for the first 6 months of the year, it lost 2.5%, even if you earned a little bit of interest on it. So the reality is, with any money you have laying around, you need to make sure that even if you want to try to retain liquidity, you at least find some kind of way to get better interest rates in the short term, or else your money's just going to go backwards on you. And dinner, well, the unfortunate reality is it looks like it's going to continue to cost more for the foreseeable future. Hey, there's a new credit card coming out today by Citibank. I think this is kind of innovative. Call it the Southwest of credit cards, if you will. No late fees, no penalty interest rates if you do make a late payment in any given month. And it's going to be one interest rate for everything. Cash advances, transfers, and purchases. That interest rate will be a little bit higher, though, and that's where they kind of get you. It'll be 16.99% fixed. Now, the industry average is 14.4, so you are paying up a little bit more for this credit card with its Southwest-like features in the credit card world, but at least you know what you're getting, and there won't be any surprises. Be interesting to see if it catches on. Hulu, it's the $2 billion darling of choice. You know, Hulu and its content deals are really where the value is. It's partially owned by Comcast and by News Corp, but as more and more people try to get into streaming-based television content, Hulu owns some of that, and consequently, the big three of the internet, or at least two of them anyway, Yahoo, Google, and Apple, are all involved in the bidding process, and it is rumored that the price tag currently sits at $2 billion. Be interesting to see where all of this lies, and whoever wins it, what they end up doing with it. If you can't beat them, join them. That's what BlackBerry is thinking. Their Playbook, which is their tablet, let's just say the sales haven't done so well. We found out over the weekend that they are testing allowing Android apps onto their platform. We've talked about how the functionality of these tablets are only as good as the apps that are on them, and the problem is not many app developers are wanting to develop for the Playbook because it's not doing so well. So if BlackBerry can get the Android apps to work on the Playbook, perhaps they have something, get in more households. So it'll also be interesting to see what ends up coming up with the BlackBerry Playbook and the Android apps. And if the government isn't going to stop the AT&T T-Mobile merger, maybe customers will. Customers have come together to sue AT&T over this deal, citing antitrust considerations. Basically, bad for us. We'll see what the courts end up thinking about that. More schools testing social media in the classroom. Interesting idea. You can read more about that at WJNO.com. And Moody's on Greece. Despite the austerity measures, get this, 100% chance of default. Let's hope we're not next. That's the cheat sheet for today. See you tomorrow.